Sad week for Donald Trump in the courtroom as his Jenga tower of lies kept getting blocks yanked out of it. First up, Jenna Ellis joined her fellow lawyers Kenneth Cheesebro and Sidney Powell in flipping on Donald Trump. Now everyone is wondering, who's next? And much like right after someone farts in a room full of Trump's legal counsel, all eyes turn towards Rudy Giuliani, whose broke ass can't really afford to go to trial. Come on, Rudy. You once gave us the greatest day ever in comedy, and we know you can do it again. After testimony from Michael Cohen, Donald Trump waddled furiously out of the courtroom to pout and throw ketchup. Donald's tantrum had started earlier that day when the judge fined him an additional $10,000 for a second violation of his gag order. Pundits worry that a vengeful Trump might fly back to his Mar-a-Lago tennis courts and once again violate his "don't make me gag" order. But you know, I gotta hand it to Trump's lawyer, who, right after all this bad behavior from his client, asked the judge to immediately declare a verdict in the trial, to which the judge said, absolutely denied. The stones on this lawyer. What else is he gonna ask for?
Judge, can I borrow $50?
Absolutely not.
Can we skip the rest of the trial?
No!
You want to make out?
I definitely do not.
It was a wild week, but at last we have a new House Speaker. The party started over the weekend with 9 new candidates for House Speaker, and I just want to remind House Republicans, it is okay to say truth instead of dare. That crowd of 9 was whittled down to one Tom Emmer, the House Majority Whip, who sucks at his job of getting Republicans to vote together. His candidacy lasted a whole 4 hours before he decided he might want to dodge that particular bullet. Despair started to set in for the right. They started wondering, is it even possible to get 217 Republicans to agree on anything besides not inviting Ted Cruz to hang out later? Well, the answer is yes, and weirdly, it's Mike Johnson for some reason. Johnson's claims to fame include fighting gay marriage and abortion, trying to help Trump overturn the 2020 election, and redrawing the line between church and state in invisible ink. He's starting his new job with just over 20 days to avoid a government shutdown, which is sure to be a baptism by dumpster fire. It should be noted that this entire chaotic speaker race was an elaborate plot by C-SPAN to get people to tune in for floor votes. Now that the speaker race is concluded, they're looking at bringing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce onto the House floor. Let's check in on the 2024 presidential race, as if we have the brain space left for that. Out on the campaign trail between courtroom appearances, Trump told his supporters not to vote.
You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes.
That's preposterous. Of course Trump supporters should vote. And we even have a special voting booth for them. Trump does encourage his supporters to be poll watchers. And I'm curious, what does that mean? I mean, you're not allowed to follow someone into the voting booth and look over their shoulder, so how does poll watching prevent voter fraud? Do you stand outside next to the line and hope someone says, I can't wait to do some voter fraud today, and then you jump out and yell, aha! Over in the floundering, soon-to-be-over DeSantis campaign, he's actually done something I like, which is very upsetting to me. DeSantis's campaign has created a Trump accident tracker to keep track of Trump's mistakes. This small bit of software is reportedly taking up the same amount of computing power as the nation of Denmark. A new poll shows that more Americans believe that democracy is in danger in this next election and must be protected by violence. And sure, I know how violence solves so many of our problems, but what if, in this case, we all got drunk and had a pillow fight instead of the gun stuff? Is that violent enough? Facing sagging approval ratings after the House Speaker debacle, Republicans have tried a new tactic, mailing porn to people. That's right, their latest mailer warned people to not open it if they were under 18 because it contained images from OnlyFans. Well, if we're going to give guns to people on a silver platter, I suppose mailing them porn was the logical next step. Representative Jamaal Bowman was charged with falsely pulling a firearm in the House building, which he did in the middle of government shutdown negotiations. He said he was trying to unlock a door, which is a good life hack. If you can't get where you need to go, look around for something that says the word fire on it and yank on that. A new rumor is going around that Vladimir Putin had a heart attack and is using body doubles to carry out official business. Suspicions were raised when Putin appeared to actually have a heart in his chest instead of a gaping hole full of rage. Looks like Armenia and Azerbaijan might go to war with each other, forcing Americans to learn the geographic regions of 2 more countries. Americans responded with, "First COVID, now this? Haven't we been through enough?" Your friends and family can now help you pick a date thanks to a new feature on Tinder, because getting your mom involved in your love life has never backfired. Showing us once again just how funny he is, Elon Musk said he'd give Wikipedia $1 billion if it changed its name to Dickopedia, which answers the question, what would an 8th grader do if they were a billionaire? Elon, if you want to give money away for name changes, we here at the Phoenix News Network are ready to go. For 250 grand, we'll change our name to Dickish News. For 500 grand, we'll go with Phoenix Dicks. And for only a fraction of what you'd spend on Wikipedia, at $1 million, we'll happily become Dickopedia instead. Start cutting a check and let's go. Hey folks, did you forget to buy Halloween candy this year? Because if you're watching this and still haven't, guess what? You're fucked. Don't worry though, we have tips to both cover up that you were too cheap to spend $10, all while assuring you will never have to buy candy again. First, you can try looking at the parents and saying, "Looks like they don't need any candy." And when the parents answer with, "Are you calling my child fat?" you can say, "No, they just look like too much of a pussy for high fructose corn syrup," and then slam the door. You can also try answering the door but not saying anything, just making unbroken eye contact for a good 20 seconds before slowly closing the door again. To get rid of them extra quick, ask if they want the candy with or without fentanyl. Or just hand out candy corn. There's still plenty of that left at the store. More often known as the country where we all got very excited when women were finally allowed to drive in 2018, Saudi Arabia wants to host the Women's World Cup, which could bring them one step closer to hosting their holy grail of a Men's World Cup instead. Hopefully all of the famously very straight and modestly clothed female soccer players don't trip over their burqas. A poison expert has been arrested for poisoning his wife. This is why they say not to bring your work home with you. 4 men were arrested in connection with the theft of 2 million dimes from a truck in Philadelphia, bound for the U.S. Mint. Hollywood authorities are keeping a close eye on the arrests, hoping that at least one of the accused robbers looks enough like George Clooney to be the basis for an Ocean's 14 movie. The Tsingtao brewery is suddenly famous after a video of a person peeing into the beer vats hit the internet. I'm just going to say it. OnlyFans has finally gone too far. A JetBlue plane tipped way back on its rear wheels after it landed. The plane's pilot, Captain Larry, is now owed $20 by me. All right, Larry, you win. I guess a plane can do a wheelie. And finally tonight, an ambulance driver in Thailand is in trouble after stopping to get some fried bananas on the way to the hospital. Was it really that bad that this driver stopped for some fried bananas? You ever had fried bananas in Thailand? They're incredible. And they're worth stopping for. #FreeBananaDriver. That wraps up this week's episode, but I want to remind everyone that we have a newsletter. Sign up at sanphoenix.com/phoenix-flyer, and each week you will get a picture of my cats along with some comedy. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we'd love it if you could. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Pull my finger.
What are you for?
Would you like to see my nudes?
No, I do not want to see any of that.
Knock, knock.
This is a comedy club, not a courtroom. No, it's a courtroom, not a comedy club.
My client has requested dino nuggets.
Not how the law works!
But Judge Kavanaugh always lets us drink beer in his court.
I am a judge, and I will be respected. Respect my authority.
Permission to pee freely.
What is wrong with you?
Hush, Your Honor. This is his executive time.